In a world where dreams are made and fortunes are built, meet 10 extraordinary entrepreneurs. They are risk takers, innovators, and visionaries. They navigate the ever-changing landscape of business. Witness their triumphs and challenges as they strive to turn their ideas into a reality. Get ready for the thrilling journey into the world of the real entrepreneur. Previously on The Real Entrepreneur, the contestants finally made it into the house and the energy was high. New faces, new connections, and everybody feeling confident after a great first night getting to know each other. But then the game got real. A special challenge was introduced, pressure hit fast, and only one person rose above the rest. Miss Barbara Boyd showed up, stood out, and took the win, setting the tone for what season 4 is about. And if you think that was intense, just wait. Tune in for this week of ambition, surprises, and unforgettable moments as the journey continues on who will be crowned the real entrepreneur.
At Preferred Waste Solution, we're proud to serve our community with reliable residential and backdoor waste services. As a minority, woman, and veteran-owned company, giving back is at the heart of what we do. Because this community supports us, and we proudly support it. They'll tell you that you're too much, too loud, too ambitious. But we are more than enough. We are a force, building each other up, breaking barriers, and creating our own path. Join us.
Built from the fire, made for the field. No cap, no gimmicks, this is how it feels.
How I felt about the Telegram Surprise Challenge was, it was definitely a surprise because I was not expecting that. And the fact is, I know I have been slipping. So it kind of woke me up a little bit. It's like, it's time to get on your stuff. This past week has been really rough for me, so I haven't been as in tune as I should be. But when that challenge was brought up, it was more of like, man, this is really surreal right now. So it got me back on my feet. So now I'm with it. Now I'm ready for everything he got coming. So, it just kind of like woke me up a little bit because I wasn't expecting it, but I also know that I was slacking this week on a few things because I had so much other things going on. Life had been lifing. Who do I think is going home today and why? I don't know. I can say one thing, I'm not going nowhere. I'm here today. So I'm gonna be here. But I really can't say. Everybody's been really, really on it, honestly. So I mean, I can't really say that. I guess I could say nobody has showed me anything to make me say, yeah, they ain't gonna last long. They slipping. So I haven't seen that. But what I can say is, I'm making it through the day.
Somebody gave me a trick. I was at one of the events, and the guy told me, he was like, next time you introduce yourself, take a selfie and save it as a contact card. So I'll remember the next time when, hey, this is when I met them. I remember that conversation now. Oh, I remember them now. So that's a good way to do it.
How did I feel about the first surprise challenge? Was kind of a surprise. I really was expecting it just because of previous episodes. But what was the anticipation was knowing what it was. What was the challenge going to be about? Like, what did I miss or what was I supposed to be looking for? So I was really surprised because I didn't know what was coming. Who do I think is going home today? That's a hard question to answer. I really don't want to put that on anybody because it's not really my forte to say. I'm gonna leave that in God's hands, and I just pray that it's just not me.
Kind of had a downside on the digital as well. Sometimes we run into network issues or phone-to-phone issues, whether someone has an iPhone or someone has an Android, and sometimes it doesn't always get received as well. So I do think some of those ways and tricks that you guys use to follow up is helpful, or screenshotting, or following them up on the Instagram with a selfie. Those are helpful as well, because you know, digital is the becoming of the future, but we're still running into some of those glitches as well. And I think that's where that line draws, where some people are not really opposed to it, where they want to stay traditional in business cards.
My name is Lakasha Long, and the question was, how did I feel about the Telegram surprise challenge? I felt it definitely was a surprise. Wasn't expecting it. However, I did expect for there to be a challenge based on the Telegram, because throughout the threads, the question mark judge did say, you know, pay attention, you guys, because everything you do is being judged. With that being said, you know, it was I was paying attention to the threads and making sure I didn't miss anything in the threads, taking everything in to, you know, to make sure I soaked up whatever may have been coming at me later on down the line. But the way the challenge was presented totally threw me to the left, and yeah. So the question is, who do I think is going home today and why? Wow. That's kind of rough and hard. And okay, so I'm gonna say, I think that based on, this is my why first. Can I get my why before my who? Okay, so based on why, I feel like based on the challenges, this person only made, well, we played a game. And the lowest score on the game was $100. So with that being said, I would think that maybe that contestant would be going home. But then also there's another contestant, which I ain't gonna speak on that. I'm just gonna stick to the script with, I think, I really don't want to have to do this because everybody has done so good, and I'm only basing this question on the why of this game. We only played this one game. So outside of this one game of this contestant getting the $100, which is Tony Posey. Everybody know he only got $100. He only got one of his questions right. But I think he's a great contestant. So if I had to base it off of what we've done since we've been here, he's the lowest contestant with the winning of the money. So I would just have to say him. But other than that, I don't see nobody going home. So for me, with my business, both of them works hand in hand, because when I do the digital, that's going to pull the customer right into my store right now on the spot. Mm-hmm. So it's going to pique their interest in what's in there. It's like walking into a store, literally, because now they're there. Right. So if there comes a connection issue, like you said, connection, phones are not compatible or whatever, then I'll hand them a card. The chances go down, but when you pull them into that store, the way I have my website set up is that it's automation, like you said, connect them back. So if they come into my website with their phone number, or if they got like their iCloud or something attached to it, my store will send them an email or a text saying, hey, you know, we saw you, did you see something that you like? Or, you know, if they even put things in the cart, they're like, hey, you got something sitting in your cart, you know, for welcome customers. It's all type of promotions that I got set up on my website that piques their interest. So if I can get them to just scan the QR code, you know, and then if they purchase, you know, then they automatically become one of the customers, and we reach out to them periodically. Newsletters, exactly.
How did I feel about the Telegram surprise challenge is that I call myself paying attention to all the details, but you know, having a busy life, and I know that's not an excuse, but sometimes it was hard to keep up with all the communications that was going on in the Telegram app. And so you would have to take time and days and go back through everything. And so in the midst of that, there were some things that I just did not pay attention to, and I missed some things. So, but don't worry about it, because I'm gonna pay attention now even more. But the feedback I got is that I started off good, but then as we kept going, or as time progressed, I began to slack off a little bit, and so there was more things that I missed in that challenge. But I think it was a lesson to always just be aware, to pay attention to details, even when you don't think they're that important or significant. Who do I think is going home today, and why? That is a tough one, because I'm looking at everybody. Everybody is so, I mean, these some good, talented people here, some good, straight, good entrepreneurs here. So it's really hard to say who's going to go home today. But if I have to pick somebody, oh boy, I would say maybe Kasha. And I can't just put my finger on it, but I would say her, maybe because I think sometimes her conversation there's times where it's very good and very informative, but then there's other times where it seems like it's just not penetrating other people or the group itself. And maybe it's just not penetrating me as much, but I'm trying to pay attention more. But I would have to say maybe Kasha. So
for some years now, I've been trying to move strictly to digital business cards, and it just doesn't work. It's good. Some people love it. Some people see it and they be like, "Oh, that's cool. You go on your game or whatever." But then you have other people, which is majority, they want the physical card. Especially, a lot of my business is geared to corporate, and a lot of people in these corporate events and corporate settings and what have you, they want a physical card for some reason. They don't want the digital card.
I think that it may also be whatever products or service that you're doing. Because in radio, nobody, you give them a card and they kind of doing this. But you QR code them or you do the bling and they want it right straight to their phone. The card, they're moving too much. So it's gone. You don't even know if they're going to contact you because the card is the card. You know what I mean?
It really depends on the person though, and the type of business that they're in also.
I agree.
But then also another thing is I had ran into a couple of ladies from England. And in conversations, sharing our business and stuff like that. So they asked me about, for a business card. I gave them a business card. It did not have my picture on it. And they asked the question. They said, "Hey, why is it that people in the U.S. don't have their picture on their business card?" And I said, "It's just I don't know. They just don't." And she said, there in the UK, most people put their pictures on there because when they're going through a Rolodex or going through a stack of cards, they a lot of times they don't remember the name of the business, but they remember the picture of the person. And they said they'll go through it and find that person looking for that picture. So
guess what?
Right then and there, I changed mine and I put my picture on my cards.
At Victory Wellness Massage, we bring relaxation, recovery, and rejuvenation right to you. At home, work, or your next event. Our licensed therapists provide quality care with compassion. Book your session today and experience the winning touch with Victory Wellness Massage.
Oh, how did I feel about the Telegram challenge on yesterday? I was very surprised. I am super excited for Barbara though, because she won. So yay for Barbara. It definitely surprised me. A tad bit disappointed in myself, although I did watch all of the videos that were put in, all of the content that were put into the Telegram. I didn't acknowledge them all. So I kind of beat myself up a little bit for that. But now I know better. So when you know better, you do better. So he did tell us about the pivotal moments. And so I'm on it now. Doggone it, I am on it. As far as who I think is going to go home, honestly, I haven't thought that far as who I think is going to go home, because I just haven't thought about that. Although I know it's two people that's going home today. I just hope it's not me. I'm not ready to go home. I'm having a phenomenal time. Again, I know that we all can't win, but I honestly have not thought that far. I'm just going to be honest. I'm just trying to get in and keep myself straight on the narrow path and keep myself grounded. So unfortunately, I can't tell you who I think is going to go home today. I'm sorry. For me, what I've noticed, just from doing these different events, after events, like especially networking events, if you're cleaning up after the fact, you walk through and you see so many cars left on the chairs, under the chairs, swag bags. And so is tangible cards really still an it factor? Because I mean, I've collected so many. Like I'm like, oh my God, all of this money. I'm thinking about the money part that we have waiting up, we've invested in our businesses, and we're actually handing these cards out, and people are they're taking them, but are they really taking them?
Right.
How do I feel about the Telegram challenge? My name is Julia Isaac. I felt that the Telegram challenge was tricky. Actually, I almost won the challenge. I completed 9 of the items. I was almost there. I actually completed all of them. I just didn't like the videos. I made notes and everything, and I just didn't realize that I had to confirm that I completed the videos. I actually completed all of them actually. So it was disappointing that I didn't confirm that I liked all the, listened or looked at all the videos. So that was crazy. I even made notes in my notebook and everything. So, but it's okay. Congratulations to Barbara. And I'm happy for her that she won. So definitely guide to watch out for Barbara. Other than that, the next question is, who do I think is going home today?
And why?
And why? Considering that I don't know what the challenge is, I don't know. Season 4 has some actually amazing contestants. So looking at everybody and looking at their history and the businesses that they have and the challenges and everything that they went through to get here, I think the contestants are amazing. So I just have to be on my P's and Q's and look out for who I'll be up against. So actually, I don't know.
But yes, I have so much marketing stuff that I have, and I go to a lot of different events. I get invited to even banking events, because I'm really close with Chase. Because that's my I have a private banker, so Chase invited me to events. So, do y'all have relationships with our bankers?
Yes. Matter of
So
fact,
I think it's
one,
important
mine
to,
just
to have.
have a
summer
relationship
with,
with your banker.
see
So-
the Isaac Brothers in concert.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they invite you, have a relationship with your banker. You open up your business banking account, have a relationship with your banker, and they'll invite you to any type of business meetings, orientations, any type of accounting, like things that you need to know, upcoming things that you need to know about law changes or anything like that. Any Chase grants, anything like that that they have coming up. Marketing, networking events that they have that's local to me. That's how I was able to go to things like that. So, yeah.
I am Dr. Silverman Cashin, and the way that I felt about the surprise Telegram challenge was, it was definitely different. I wasn't expecting it. I understand why it was done, because we were told that everything matters. But hey, you know what? It was good. It reminded me to make sure that I pay attention to every single detail and I don't take things for granted. So who I feel is going to go home today and why? I'm gonna be general about it, just because this is technically our first challenge. And I don't really know what the challenges are to be able to put the people with that. But I feel like the 2 individuals that are gonna go home today are definitely going to be the ones that are not paying attention to the detail, just because Dr. Pitts has made it very clear and did the Telegram challenge to ensure that we knew how important the detail was. So the individuals that would, or the individual that would be going home today would definitely be the individual that does not pay, or least pays attention to the details of the challenge. Realistically, every one of us have probably been to a networking event, and you know you didn't remember every single person that you met when you walked out. But if you look at their picture, you'll be like, oh, I remember that person likes granola bars. You remember the weirdest stuff, you know, and I don't mean like bad weird, good weird about a person just by looking at their face.
I am Renee Ambush. How did I feel about the initial Telegram challenge? I'm going to go opposite of Tiffany Haddish. I wasn't ready. I was not. But it was a wake-up call. It was to let me know, honestly, that being an entrepreneur, you have to be alert, aware, present, and very observant and making sure that you are taking that time for yourself to be very thorough and detailed. And so while I wasn't in the lowest of the numbers, I wasn't the winner. And again, it made me realize, hey, listen, you are leveling up and you have got to get on your game. You have to make sure that you are aware. And so I would like to say that from this point on, my eyes are open. I will be ready. I will be present and actually involve myself in being more detailed to see what was going on. So I think that was my wake up call. And we watch reality shows and, you know, we see people go home and other people are like, oh my goodness, that was my friend. Oh, I'm going to miss you. And you be like, whatever. Right. But no, I have really come to connect with everybody in this house. And so when I thought about who may go home, with all truthfulness, I stopped thinking about it because I don't want to think about it. I really can't say. I think that every individual really does deserve to be here. And I really cannot think of who may be going home. You might have to give me that one again. I really cannot think of who's going home today. I cannot.
I'm Dr. Silvermoon Cashin, where innovative healthcare, empowered mindsets, and intelligent technology merge to elevate lives. I help families rise, entrepreneurs break limits, and communities heal. Transformation isn't a dream, it's a decision. I'm Dr. Silvermoon Cashin, and your breakthrough begins now.
Hey, my name is Shanika Posey. The first question, how do I feel about the surprise Telegram challenge? I mean, what it taught me was to pay attention to detail. I assumed that I was responding enough and I was accurate enough. So even if I didn't do what was actually specified, I would heart the message. To me, showing acknowledgement, but it was in the details that was described how we were supposed to react or respond to it, which was the detail that I missed. If anything, I think that it showed us that, like he said, pay attention to everything. And in those details that we missed, going over it last night, it made us recalibrate and think like, okay, well, moving forward, I actually need to pay attention to everything. Like in every little thing, everything means something while we're here. So the minute that you get too relaxed and you get too complacent, like you'll miss it, and that could be detriment and the possibility of you having to go home. The second question is hard. Who do I think will be the first or should be the person to go home today?
And why?
And why? I don't know. I guess because I'm an empathetic person anyway, and I know that's a part of the challenge. Somebody has to go home. But now after getting the opportunity to meet everybody on a personal level, it's almost like the dynamic of this group is almost like everybody was handpicked. There is literally not one person that I don't get along with, and I don't know these people from a can of paint. Energetically, everybody meshes down to the females that I'm in a room with, Renee and Barbara. Like, we have so many similarities, and I know they did that on purpose. but the similarities between the three of us, three women that didn't know each other at all, to just click. And the other castmates to just have cohesion. So I guess for me, it's hard to say who deserves to go home because I know that everybody's here for their own reason behind their business. And I guess maybe to a fault, and that's a part of my character that I'm growing out of, and I'm saying the answer in my head. But the level of empathy that I've had in my past was basically led me down a lot of paths from not putting myself first. If it came down to it, and I know it sounds corny, I probably would have sacrificed myself to go. Only because I know the volume of what this opportunity means to everybody. I want to win just like everybody else, but I couldn't see myself answering in that way because it would almost hurt me to see somebody else go. And I know that that's part of the competition. So answering it honestly, that is my answer. I would probably sacrifice myself because I wouldn't want anybody else to hurt, even though I still want to win myself.
Right, yeah. So my name is Tony S. Green, aka Tone Supreme, the real Leverage King. And how I felt about the Telegram surprise, it was definitely a surprise. Obviously I paid attention to everything in the chat, but what I didn't do, even though I looked at all of the videos, I did not recognize that I acknowledged it by liking it to let them know that, hey, I actually checked out the video. So that was pretty slick, pretty strategic move. So yeah, definitely first challenge kicked off, got a lot of people. But, congratulations to Barbara who was able to win that challenge. Who I think is going home today? That's a good question. I don't want to throw nobody under the bus, but if I was to choose someone, possibly Silver Moon, maybe. I don't really have a reason, but I would say, maybe Silver Moon. She does seem to be a little bit more like over-analyzing a little bit, so that could be a challenge for her. And that could possibly, get her sent home. But honestly, I feel like everybody here has good potential. But if I was to choose someone, I guess I would probably choose her.
I was born in Christian said St. Croix. Now that's an interesting thing because most people would say, well, you're automatically American. Well, no, I'm American by paper, but I have grown up in St. Kitts and Nevis where all my family is from, mommy and daddy. So I went to school there for a bit. So I call myself a Kittitian girl. So I'm a Caribbean girl living in the United States. But I do call New York home. However, I do live in Atlanta full time, but New York is always home to good Caribbean people. I became affiliated with Dr. Pitts. We actually have a mutual friend in common. I call her his chief of staff, Jamie Bullock, and we met, all had lunch, and that's how we became affiliated. And from that, learned a little bit more about his brand, but I also had him on my podcast a couple weeks back, actually in the month of October. He was on as a panelist for talking about the male loneliness epidemic in the United States. I was actually, because if you know Jamie Bullock, she will tell you what she needs to do, what you need to do. And she actually wanted me to become a contestant. Literally the last day, she was like, "Kadada, are you putting your application in?" And Dr. Pitts actually reached out to me. He's like, no. I want you to do a judge instead. This is what I need you to do. This is what you're at, where you're at, especially with my business. And we were talking about that. And he was like, you know what? I need you to do the first challenge. So here I am. So herein lies the rub, as they say. So my name is Kadada Esmera Gray.
comma, LLC. So I feel like I got a name like Prince and Oprah. That's my hope and goal. But underneath that umbrella, I am an author. In the last 10 months, I've written 5 books. I'm a political consultant, excuse me. I'm also a conflict coach, like a life coach. However, I use my conflict resolution background. And I'm a social justice movement consultant. So I have all of these different brands. And so that's how I'm here. I have all these different brands doing all of these different things. But my main thing, first and foremost, is always to serve my people, Black and brown people first at all times. So that is a running thread through all my work. And then secondaries, I always serve women. All right, so you can just look for me, Kidada Esmera Gray. That's Kiddada. Once you pop that in, I promise you, my name is not Lisa, so I am not hard to find. So you put Kidada in, and I pop up on all my social media.
What do you do when pain becomes your past, but purpose becomes your future? That's the pink sheep.
Entrepreneurs, welcome to your first challenge. However, I will not be introducing the challenge to you. The entrepreneur who will be introducing the challenge is...
Hello, contestants. I'm Kidada Esmera Gray, and I am so grateful. You don't understand how grateful I am to present to you all and use your brains for my challenge, which is I need a really good streamlined branding story about myself, because I do probably way too many things. I am a serial entrepreneur, but over the last several years when I entered into this space, I have been afforded great opportunities. So I'm a political consultant, so that allows me to not only run campaigns, but I deal with people all across the country. Campaign-wise, speaking-wise on political topics, I used to have a political podcast. That was something I did years ago. I'm also a speaker, so I get asked to train and speak on conflict management issues because my background is actually in conflict management. I'm also what they call the conflict whisperer. I have a podcast that does that as well, and we talk about the challenges of conflict in everyday life, and I teach everyone and anyone how to deal with conflict at business, at work, in their personal lives. That's some of the things that I do. I'm also a 5-time author, published. My books have been around the world. They've been to London, they've been to Frankfurt, and they've been to Sharjah, right next door to Dubai. So my books have traveled further than I have in the last few years. And so inside of these last 10 months, I'm also a trainer because I love organizational conflict. Because of my background in conflict, in politics, I'm asked to speak on a variety of things and topics and issues, which I'm grateful for. Now, I just said I'm a 5-time author. Here's one of my newest books. Mainly the work that I do, anything that I do, this is called A Quiet Woman's Guide to Loud Victories. It is a book on success. It is a business book that is very different. Yes?
Hearing that you are an entrepreneur and doing many things, what would you say as an individual makes you stand out in the market?
I'm gonna answer this question from a way a sister girl said it to me. She said, no matter what industry you have been in, you've been able to move seamlessly into every one of those industries. And the reason for that is because I've got great communication skills, I've got the great soft skills, and I'm very people oriented. I love to serve people authentically, and I know how to build relationships, and I know how to listen. And so, yes, young.
You mentioned earlier in your story that you had 4 degrees.
I do.
Telling us what 4 degrees do you have?
So my very first one is in philosophy and religion with minors in peace studies and creative writing. My second one is in organizational management with an emphasis in human resource management. My third one is in health information technology because I am a technologist. That was my first love going into IT.
What is your name? Does your name have significant meaning?
It does. So Kidada Esmera translates into first name, sister, So Dada in Swahili is sister. And then my middle name, someone say it's Native American origin, some say African origin. I just don't know, my parents did a thing, but it means butterfly. So my name translates into sister butterfly. And I love butterflies. And I feel like I'm always in metamorphosis too. That's why I do so many different things.
My question ties into, with all of your entities that you bring to the table, what is that image or the superhero that you want everybody to know when they see Kadada? Like, what are we narrowing that down into? If we can collectively.
Well, I think branding wise, I mean, I think people see a very professional, astute woman, but who's also very relatable. Because what you see is what you get. I don't have representatives. I don't have time for that. So for all y'all dating representatives, retire that, please. So I think that people, like, they trust me. It's a high level of trust for whatever it is that I do, right? And so people, I literally, and I say this with not bragging, but if someone says, call Kadada, they call Kadada, right? Because some people call me Olivia Pope. I've had Olivia Pope moments, but it's more about that relationship management. I really care for the people that I serve, and very authentically, and especially in the political space, because guess what? No one's going to care about you and your personal life. You come to me, I'm talking to you, I'm talking to your husband, I'm talking to your boyfriend, I'm talking to the children. We're putting things in place so that way you're cared for 18 months or so.
Welcome to Chosen Culture NY. From weddings to community events, Chosen Culture NY has you covered. Party rentals, event planning, and more. No stress when you choose the best.
Well, they told me play the game. But the board was built to break me. So I did what builders do. I redesigned it. I don't react to the board, I redesign it. Pressure ain't punishment, nah, it's perfect timing. Calculated pivot when the whole world's shifting. Plot twist, execution, watch the vision get lifted. System architect, I'm the reason it's scaling. Faith in my chest when the headlines be failing. I grew up where the sirens sing lullabies, where be careful mean don't let them see you survive. Mama prayed over bills, over bruises, over doubt, and I learned real quick what deliver us about. They wanna label on you problem, threat, statistic, but God wrote my name in a language they can't mimic. Racism in the air like smog on the tin, trying to breathe through a system that don't want you to win. So I built me a blueprint out of pain and persistence, turned trauma into torque. Now the engine got distance. I ain't perfect, I'm present, still healing, still driven. If you see me dancing, it's a praise for what I'm living. I don't react to the board, I'll redesign it. Pressure ain't punishment, nah, it's perfect timing. Calculated pivot when the whole world's shifting. Plot twist, execution, watch the vision get lifted. System architect, I'm the reason it's scaling. Faith in my chest when the headlines be failing. I challenge who I wanna win. Listen close, that's love. Iron sharpen iron, but it still come from above. When the room get cold, I bring soul to the meeting. Jazz in the keys, funk in the bass, truth in the speaking. They say, why you push so hard? Cause I know what it costs. I've seen dreams get buried when the guidance get lost. So if pressure on you heavy, don't you call it a curse. It might be preparation for your purpose to burst. Yeah. He don't react to the board. You redesign it.
I actually feel pretty good about the first challenge. I got out of my headspace and I got it done, which is what I'm here for, to get it done and to go forth. Kadada, as Mara Gray, born 4/23/1975, which currently resides in Atlanta, Georgia, story centers a powerhouse political consultant of Caribbean nature from New York. She's a movement all by herself,
from leading Black and brown women across the globe to coaching and empowering them along with her passionate storytelling and fearless authenticity. She currently holds 4 degrees and have been accepted into top universities in the country, one of which is a master's in conflict management and is an IT guru. She didn't just stop there. She's also a worldwide, multifaceted author and has been published in several countries such as London and Frankfurt, to name a few. She is a seasoned life coach and the CEO of Kadada Asmara Gray LLC and Transform Living and the visionary of Grown Girl Spaces. Kadada Asmara Gray is not only a powerhouse, she also empowers communities through political, social justice, and education, and is a life coach. She reflects an unforgettable narrative of resilience and transformation. She empowers communities through political, social justice, education, and a life coach, which reflects on an unforgettable narrative of resilience and transformation. She is currently powering the Manosphere, which will be one of the most talked about books in history. She is a womanpreneur that knows how to make strides from the peak of the mountaintop. She's a womanpreneur that helps women to get to the next level by showcasing her strength, by showcasing her authority, by showcasing resilience.
I felt your passion. I felt the way you connected with her, and you really you set her apart.
Thank you.
Boldly, proudly, loudly. I would say I didn't really hear what she could do more of.
Okay.
Any real solutions for her. I would have liked to see that a little bit more, but a lot of clarity. It was very clear in what she does, what her passions are, where she focuses her work.
Thank you.
Yes, so I would like to definitely agree. I felt like the emotional connection was extremely well. I definitely want to highlight that for you.
Thank you.
Also, as well as a little bit more, just basically everything she said, like just a little bit more of how can she, better the business or, yeah.
I'm going to say I did pretty well. I did pretty well. I was able to power through it. I was able to find great information. I kind of believe that I know her. And so, yeah, I think I did good. I think I did good. I'm going to stick to that. I think I did good.
In a fast-paced world, your health shouldn't wait. With ConnectMD, access healthcare anytime, anywhere. Telemedicine made easy. ConnectMD, your health, your way. For more information, call Dr. Casual Pitts at 706-365-7818.
I feel really good about it. It was interesting. Yeah, it was interesting. There was a lot to include, but it was exciting. It was exciting to do the project or challenge. I build power by listening where others choose to fight. If you are tired of mixed signals, moving goalposts, and covert manipulation, this work is rooted in the real world, not internet fancy narratives. She is a professional, astute conflict coach, political campaign leader, author, and speaker who leads with calm authority in divided spaces, calling New York home, rooted in the Caribbean heritage, and living in Atlanta. Her perspective is shaped by lived experiences across cultures and communities where power, conflict, and leadership are deeply personal. In environments where conflict is often escalated for attention, she brings clarity. Her approach to conflict coaching is grounded in soft communication, deep listening, and strategic precision. I know that Kadia wanted her name to be the brand, right? Everything about her is about her name. So imagine Kadia builds power by listening where others choose to fight. That's amazing. Everything she does. The brand represents and shows authenticity. The coaching, the conflict coaching is the center of everything she does, regardless if it's political, authorship, or even her speaking engagements. I chose the word calm because there's power in calmness. We can make differences, and Kadia can make differences by showing calm leadership. This brand story works for Kadia because it reflects how you actually lead, how she actually leads, how she protects the people she serves, and how she creates change in real world conflict. It's not louder, it's clear, and it works.
Mm-hmm. I do have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
So if I wanted to find her, how would I find her? What do I search for? What does she do?
So her brand does everything. That was the whole situation. So when we would be searching with her using this brand story, we would be searching for her to be making a difference in lives through conflict resolution and management, which is what she focuses on throughout everything.
It still didn't answer my question. I'm sorry. So if I wanted to hire her to do something, how do I find her? Is she a coach? Is she a conflict resolutionist?
No, you would find her by her name.
Okay, thank you.
Alrighty. So I want you to start out with the emotional connection part. When I was watching your live stream video, I was struggling to try to find the emotional connection. It more so sounded as if it was AI. It sounded like it was kind of just like read out. I did see a little bit more emotional connection. Actually talking to you one-on-one, I could kind of see like the excitement coming alive and things of that sort. I do feel like that you added you did talk a lot about her because we did understand that she wants to be the brand. But I do kind of feel like it was a little bit all over the place. I think that if you would have honed in on one of her businesses and then kind of like branched out and connected everything in that way, it kind of sounded a little bit jumbled up. But other than that, like I said, your words were very clear. You got to the point that you were trying to make, but I just wish that it was a little bit more clarity.
Yeah, I'm going to say thank you for taking this on. One of the things I think is important to note is selection of word choice. So the word fight can really bring about different types of emotions and visions. And so as a conflict coach, I'm aware of that, right? So being calm and fighting because of the fact that I do political work, I do fight for a living, right? So that's a contrast that doesn't work really well. And then I think most importantly, which made it harder for me to listen, is that since you keep mispronouncing my name, that is probably the biggest challenge here because I was stuck on that. And then if you're mispronouncing my name, I'm not too sure if you got everything that I was doing. Because once again, word choice, how we present in language is very important. And two, I actually wrote down, I still don't know what the streamline, I don't know what the branding story is, because I think you did a great job summarizing, right? I just don't know what it is. If there was a name for it, I didn't hear the name.
So I'm going to be honest, for me, especially when I was watching it, it gave so much AI. To me, it felt like ChatGPT. It felt like she took a little bit of notes and ChatGPT just wrote it for her. And there for me, the emotional connection was just not there to the brand. It felt a little bit all over the place for me. I could not really grasp, honestly, what she was trying to say. It just felt all over the place.
Yeah. I think she used a lot of descriptions which were really great.
Yeah, she did.
And but for me it lacked clarity because at the end of the day, I said, how do I find you? What do you do? And she said, you look for her name. So, and I could forget a name very easily, but if I'm looking for somebody in your professional field, that's really what I was, trying to get clarity on when I asked her that question. And I don't feel that I got that clarity. Yes, just I feel like she emphasized words, but it wasn't an emotional, it wasn't the connection wasn't, it's like she didn't feel it, but she was emphasizing the words for the emotional connection. So, I mean, I think she did a good job, but a lot more streamlined, a lot more clarity, and like you said earlier, to actually state what you do and then state your name correctly. That's most important.
Usually I'm not really concerned about people pronouncing my name correctly, but that was so off for me and jarring that I was like, well, if you can't get that part right, then a lot of the other things aren't going to be correct, right? And so she did a great job summarizing. She took amazing notes. She knows a lot about me, right? However, what's missing is I was still unclear. I didn't know what was the plan. I didn't know from point A to point B what it is that I should be streamlining or taking out or withdrawing. And I do think that it was very academic. And I'm usually an academic chica, so I like academics, but it was very, very academic. And so, but not a real marketing pitch, not a branding pitch. To your point, that's creating emotional connection. I think she kind of got close to possibly wanting people to be a little bit more curious,
Yeah.
but not enough. Like she didn't paint inside of it what she was saying about why I would, as a stranger, go looking for this brand. So
Let me ask you a question, because when you asked her, how would you find, how would you locate her? And she said by her name. Is your name trademark or is it an LLC?
it is put out as Mayor Briggs LLC.
Okay.
Yep, it is.
Okay.
And I think she got that part right. I think she got that part. I don't think that she can definitely. I don't know. I'm still stuck on the fact you couldn't pronounce my name right.
Like, do you have a position title?
I have many position titles.
Okay.
That's the thing. So
That may be part of why she couldn't exactly say, when I said, how do I find her? What do I look for? She couldn't say strategist or
right.
what have
And
you.
so because I do hold a lot of different titles because of all the different types of work that I do, she was close. She was close. I think if she had another day, I think that she could pull it all together. But I don't think in this time frame. I think it was more of a summarization of what she found out about me, what she researched, what she did. And word choice too was a little bit off for me, because you have to take that into consideration when you're marketing and branding. What are those feelings that people are going to get when they hear the word fight, when they hear the word calm, right? Because and in the conflict world, those things are definitely drivers for behaviors. And I think that she didn't realize from a marketing standpoint that also happens in people's brains as well.
But it's kind of contradicting though, because when you say calm and then you say fight,
right.
It's kind of like, are you fighting or you calm? It's kind of one or the other. I did notice on the score for originality for you, she just dropped the ball.
Yes, because I felt like it was just a good summary. I think she did a really good summarization. If I were to say, how is she doing this? Tell me about myself. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, no, she did it. But that wasn't what the assignment was.
Okay, well, hey, it is what it is.
Yep. She gave it a good shot. Yep, she did.
I think I did okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, I feel like I'm about a 7.5.
To be honest, I am really nervous and anxious. I am customized to doing these type of business plans, branding stories. I know how to do these things, but it's like now, since I'm being put to a test, it kind of just threw me. I mean, it's like everything just got lost up there. All right, so how's everybody doing today? My name is Lakasha Long, and I'm going to be doing the brand story for Miss Kadada Asmara Gray, LLC. She is a multi-entrepreneur with 5 businesses, ranging in conflict coach, consultant coach, political consultant, a trainer, and also she's a 5-time published author, with her last book being Manosphere, which speaks on young Black women being bullied and victimized by men. She is a 10-month trainer, and she trains with different type of consulting and life stories. And all right, ladies, as you saw earlier, in conclusion to everything you saw for Miss Kadada Amara Gray, she is more than just a person. Her name stands for a brand where she is building and empowering and elevating other people, mainly Black women and women of and people of color. Ms. Kadada has earned so many degrees and has done so many things to help others. She's passionate about helping others grow, helping others build to be a better person in life. So when it comes to her name, it's not just about her, it's about her business. She is her business. She is the brand. She is a movement of her own. So with that being said, Ms. Kadada will change lives of many.
All right, thank you, Lakasha. Is Lakasha right?
That's Lakasha, yes.
Thank you so much. One of the things I do want to say is that I feel like you spoke a lot of accolades, which is not necessarily a bad thing because we do know that she is her brand. But I would have liked to see a little bit more about the brand. If I was just of course we know I'm an African American woman that would want to get some of her services. I would like to know a little bit more about the services as well. You did a fantastic and phenomenal job painting who she is, but I do want to hear about, because she does so many things, I would like to hear more about the different things that she does, the different areas that she has expertise in. I noticed that you mentioned a few times, twice, about the lady's book that she wrote and things like that or whatever. But just like I said, you spoke great accolades, but I would like to hear more so about the business brand.
Thank you.
I think that you look phenomenal.
Thank you.
You look polished, you look powerful, and your look is absolutely perfect for delivering this story about such a powerful woman. I loved your eye contact. The clarity lacked for me during your presentation. If you were introducing her, that would have been really, really spot on. I feel like there were some points where you were kind of questioning yourself if you knew quite who she was and what her brand story was. But I will say that then, and that's on the screen. But when you stepped out here, I felt your connection. I felt your presence. And I wanted to give you kudos for that, because you are a force delivering a brand story about a force. And I think that your look, your positioning, and all of your body language really scream that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you. However, I'm a little challenged because a lot of the things that you stated were not true. And you've got them kind of interspersed. And so like the book, and I wrote down active listening, because I wondered when I was speaking, what were you doing? Because I wasn't too sure if you were taking notes, if you were just writing bulleting points. I don't know if you did research on me. I'm not too sure, because some of the book names, some of the summarizations of the books were wrong. And one of the key things for me is that, 'cause I'm a word person, I'm an author, I like words. I think words are important. And so one of the hardest challenges, right, in these moments, and as an entrepreneur, when you have to think on the spot, is that you have to know and have a broad enough vocabulary so that when you're stumbling, right, like I wrote down big person speak with. You said that. I was like, okay, I'm not too sure what she's saying. But that tells me that in delivering and understanding messaging, that you're going to have to be able to have options for word choices. That comes with study, right? That comes with reading a lot of things about other people, about other worlds. So you build vocabulary. So when you're missing one word, then you're like, okay. The other thing is that when you're stumbling, right, you need to take a breath for a quick second. Because it's wonderful to look amazing. It really is. So that works in your favor. It's a challenge to look amazing and be totally off the mark. Because like you said, I was a 10-month trainer. I don't even know what you're talking about. Because I never said that, right? I never said. So a lot of the things that I said, you had a different version of those. And if you had taken an opportunity to ask for more clarity, I think you would have been able to put the pieces of the puzzle together a little bit more in a way that was necessary for this challenge. So that's me. Yeah.
Thank you.
She's the first person that gave eye contact in her presentation. A little bit.
I think she was looking at you, but she was not.
No,
looking this way to me.
even on screen though, she did give some eye contact, and I felt her presence was much better when she stepped in front of us, and she was actually speaking. Now, I think if the message was more clear and accurate, she would have really hit that spot on from her presence, her dress, her brightness, her enthusiasm. Those things I really liked about her. But like you said, there was a lot of mistakes in what she said and things that were not true. So, unfortunately, but I like her presence. She, so far to me, she's got great stage presence if she's not a public speaker.
Yeah, it was kind of a little confidence and no brainstorm. I really didn't. For me, because I was just like, what we doing? Just being honest, because I love the way she spoke to her. Like you said, if you're presenting somebody and she's like giving a synopsis of who she is, I thought she did an excellent job. But just like bringing her brand to life, I just felt like she really just dropped the ball. The clarity was just not there for me. Going back to what you said, she did use a lot. Even it was, and you have to find when you're in those settings and stuff, you have to find words to replace, or like you said, just slow down and take your time. I think that, to be honest, I think quite a few that we have saw, I think they're a little confused.
I would agree. I don't think they understand.
I think they're a little confused.
I don't think they understand this challenge. But I'm going to say something that, and I want y'all to know that I'm really guided by spirit and people's energy. And I'm going to say she has gotten away with her presence and no substance for a very long time.
Absolutely.
And so I can see that being a thing for her because she did absolutely, I actually wondered if she actually took time to do the assignment at all. That's how I wondered, just in like, okay, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe this is what she came up with, because she didn't take the hour. She didn't, she was the very first one that I took a lot of notes because I didn't know who she was talking about. There was nothing that was really aligned with me. And I do think that she's been able, we do have pretty privilege in this world. We do. And there's something to be said about pretty privilege. But if you're going to take the pretty privilege, deliver. But that's my version of pretty privilege. And I think she's been able to get away with a lot of things because she does look good. She does look, she's well put together. But delivery-wise, content-wise, I know she didn't she listened to portions of when I was speaking in the 20 minutes because she didn't even come close. And that breaks my heart because I don't want to give someone a negative number, because I'm like, I really wondered what she was doing.
Yeah, I was completely lost. Like I said, confidence and no substance. Like you said, you get the posture and everything was great. It was there, but she just missed the mark.
Yeah.
Really
I don't think that it's necessarily should reflect on her character. So I think she just truly missed the point of the assignment.
But one of the things that I can say from previous seasons, when you have a contestant like that, you have to literally hit it nail on because what'll happen is they'll coast through the season.
and they'll do the same thing over and over again until it comes of a challenge to where it has to make them step outside of their comfort zone, and then they crumble. And so like people go back and look, oh, she was doing so good, but then when it tests them, they crumble like cookies.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's also a part of the challenge. You know, you've got to pay attention. You have to understand what you're doing.
Right.
So I want to clarify, because I think when we talk about a person's character, morals, and values and things like that, that's very different than what we're doing here, and we're standing in front of someone pitching to be an entrepreneur, right? Character, I wasn't questioning her character, because I do believe that we do have privileges as women, and we do need to show up a particular way, especially in front of other women. Right? And if we're not going to be honest to a sister girl, I'm doing her a disservice if I can't let her know, like, you did not do what was asked of you. That's the only thing that, and we have to be clear about how we serve each other, because I want the best for her. It would be wrong for me to lie to her, but it's not a character issue.
Oh man. I feel like I did good enough to get her brand story out, but I also feel like I could have done better with more order of operation, as far as, from the beginning with a body and then the conclusion. Pretty much it's just everything's in there all over the place.
I actually feel pretty good about it. I think I did a good job, and with the information that I gathered, I think it turned out to be some good information that I could use to present my story and also to present the entrepreneur. I remember the first time I got involved, or I got exposed to Amazon. And when I got exposed to Amazon, I was like, man, there's everything on here. But then when I got exposed to Amazon Prime, I was like, there was even more stuff on here. Did you know that Amazon has more than 200 services? A few of them that they have is e-commerce for shopping. They have Prime Video for watching televisions and movies, Alexa, which is an information highway, Prime Music for streaming music, Cloud Server for storing files, and even Kindle books for reading. That's just a few of the things that they offer. I can't even say it right. Kadada Asmara Gray has multiple services that she offers and desires to streamline them to a similar way that Amazon streamlines all of their services, putting them all into one place. It's a one-stop shopping place. Amazon, it means a female warrior. And that is exactly the kind of person that Dr. Kadida, I can't even say her name right, Kadida is providing services with a warrior mentality to transform the lives of people that she does through life coaching, through conflict resolution, dedicated to empowering individuals and organizations. So first of all, let me apologize for getting tongue-tied with your name. It's an incredible name, but I just got tongue-tied for that, so I apologize for that. As you saw in the video, in my presentation, I'll complete what I started, and that is that with all these services, Kadida desires to streamline them to provide a platform that presents the least amount of resistance to those looking to benefit from her services. She does not like marketing or promoting, so streamlining is of the essence. She'd rather help and to serve. We do this by using Amazon's website marketing as a model for marketing, promoting, and also providing a diversified customer experience, leaving a hybrid marketing platform, creating multiple revenue streams, offering a vast selection of services. As an author, a life coach, a host, a consultant, a writer, and a spokesperson, and a speaker, let's let the world know the warrior that Kadida Asmara Gray is.
Thank you, Byron. Byron, I have a question.
Yes.
I heard you reference Amazon a lot. What actually were you trying? Because I think I know what you were trying to do, but I just need a little more clarity as to why you referenced Amazon so much pertaining to her particular brand.
So I did just try to show the different services that Amazon offers and the diversity of the services that they offer. And so with the different diversity of services that that she offers. I was trying to do a parallel comparison and saying that with all those different diversity of services, then they can all be streamlined into one place, still yet giving those customers a way of being able to see those services.
Yeah. Okay, so my only thing with that is Amazon doesn't really sell services, they sell products. So I guess this, because I felt, I knew where you were trying to go with it. I just don't think that Amazon would have been the ideal thing to say, because Amazon more so sell products. Now we're talking about her books and things like that, of course, you know, referencing Amazon, but because of the things that she offered, I just kind of, I was a little lost with that correlation as well. I really didn't know where you were going with that. Also as well, I do feel like you did explain, you know, you explained her brand, you know, and who she was, but like I said, that part, I'm gonna be honest, it kind of lost me a little bit.
I get exactly what you were trying to do. And I was a little confused because it sounded like an Amazon commercial at first.
Yeah.
But then as you started tying in, I did understand what you were saying and exactly what you were trying to do. And you're right, Amazon does sell services. They have Amazon Web Services. So actually, I think that the comparison, although I would have loved for you not to promote Amazon as much and more so her, but the concept of what you're saying is kind of a one-stop shop, and everything that she does, she actually could probably partner with Amazon in getting some of her things out, including making her services more known, and getting them to a vaster audience. So I will say I do understand the connection. Amazon a little bit more. I thought it was an Amazon commercial at first. I do applaud you though for making the corrections. You realized that you were struggling with her name and you let that go. You didn't harp on it, but you took the time to seek out to say, how do I pronounce this properly? Little misstep at the end, but how do I pronounce it properly, and actually apologize to her. And I think that's really big, and it shows respect that, hey, I know I messed this up, but I want you to understand I took this seriously and I respect you, and I wanted to correct myself.
So, thank you for the laughter. Yeah, so I've heard your version of my name before, so that's okay. I would say at least try, right? But I do wanna teach you about business real quick. One of the things is that never lead with a competitor or any other brand first, because we're gonna get stuck on there, especially with Amazon, right? However, I do want to say this to you. You actually kind of brought back up my challenge, because in bringing up Amazon and Amazon services, a lot of people only know Amazon by their products, right? Like unless you're an Amazon business or you deal with affiliate links and all that, average people aren't doing that. And so you kind of reminded me, okay, now I know I'm here because I am having this exact same challenge. So not a win there. I did get what you were trying to do, I really did. But I do think that what was missing was the how, the execution of the how. Because just between the three of us, right, we had the challenge of one judge not knowing that their Amazon does have all of these services, another judge recognizing certain services, and then going, okay, well, how, going back to my branding challenge, right? If I do all of these things, how do we streamline it? And whether the question on the table is whoever's interacting, they're gonna go find what they need to find, right? And I guess it was just the main thing. So that was it. Kind of brought me back to, okay, yeah, now I know why we have this challenge, because we're still stuck. And I think you put me right back to the place where we started. Without, if you had produced a how strategy, I think that would have been a lot stronger in execution. I do think, and please don't ever, even for your own brand, when you look at it from a competitive space, right, whatever it is that you do, you always start with yourself first and then your competitors afterwards, because you don't want people to get lost in your competitor's name, their branding first, and then you as a secondary, you've lost everybody already, because you sold us on Amazon right now. So thank you.
I'm gonna be honest, he lost me completely with the Amazon. I am in the 99 percentile of the people who only go to Amazon for products. I'm gonna be honest, because he started giving statistics on Amazon. I was like, baby, are we selling Amazon? What are we doing? It literally drowned out everything that he was trying to do. Like I understood what he was trying to do because I understood, like we said, a one-stop shop. But I felt like he should have done it a different way, throwing in statistics about Amazon and how that was just all the way off.
Yeah. So he came out strong with Amazon, and I will say the first like few seconds, I'm like, did we make a mistake in putting the wrong assignment up there on the TV? I'm sorry, but I'm like, okay, I want to open my mouth. I don't want to make a mistake again. He did harp very much so on Amazon. But I quickly connected because I'm very familiar with a lot of the services and different services that Amazon offers. So I understood the connection that he was trying to make. I feel like it would have been a lot better if he actually took certain solutions and married them together to bring it together and make a little bit more sense.
Absolutely.
But I mean, overall, I did understand truly what he was trying to do. Just way too much emphasis on Amazon. But as you said, it brought up, I'm just like, well, he brought up some good points and some good solutions. It's how do you do that? How would that translate? How would that help you more in your brand, your company, so to speak? So
you mean from Amazon perspective? I can honestly say I don't know any of the solutions, and probably because I really did get stuck on him really trying to pronounce my name and struggling through that, and I just felt as if it just wasn't connected. I got what he was saying up front. I really did. I understood. Because visually I got it. I understood about Amazon. I know their business platform, but it was the how that was missing the mark. It really was the how. And he did have a wonderful suit jacket on. So I'm gonna give him a shout out for looking cute and handsome.
He looked very professional.
Very professional. I just want to say that even now, after all of this, I'm still stuck because he literally stirred it up for me to go, I see why I needed to be here because I needed assistance and with some other ideas around how to streamline my business, what to do. Because if, in truth be told, Amazon really does a really good job in their marketing because probably 99% of America or the world would say they serve products, right? It's products. And so as listening to him, I was wondering with myself, should I have a hierarchy? And I can't choose of my own services. I cannot choose because when the phone rings, I'm here to serve, right? And so it comes in so many different ways. And Amazon does an amazing job because very rarely do you hear about Amazon Web Services. Very rarely do you hear anything about affiliate links. If you're not in those worlds of Amazon, you're not going to know, right? Yeah.
I agree, and that's if you're not in that world. But there are a lot of people that are, and that's almost like the go-to. That's the Google. So, and if people are looking for services like yourself, like the ones that you offer, you do partner, or you are on Amazon Web Services or whatever services you can offer and be on their platform. I can see how that would bring you a lot more business as well.
I think I did really good. I think I did good. Looking at the points that we were given and the instructions that we was given, I think I followed those instructions pretty good, and I think I hit on all the points pretty well too.
I felt like the challenge was amazing. I really liked diving into Kadada's Ismara history. It was amazing. I liked learning about her history, that she wrote the 5 books and that she was a political consultant and all of those different things. She's a powerhouse. So it was very amazing learning about the things that she's done. And she's right there in Atlanta, very close to home. So it was amazing. Kadada Asmara Gray is a voice rooted in heritage, refined by education, and driven by purpose. Born of Caribbean lineage shaped by New York's relentless energy and grounded in Atlanta's evolving cultural and political landscape.
She embodies a global Black womanhood that is both intellectual and unapologetically powerful. A Time published author and recognized as a top poetic novelist of 2025, Kadada's voice moves seamlessly between poetry, philosophy, politics, and purpose. Her work, including a newly released A Quiet Guide to Loud Victories, speak to those who lead without noise yet change everything they touch. Her words are not only loud, they are felt, lived, and carried forward. She is Kadada. She strategizes it, she writes it, she teaches it, and she lives it. She is the brand. She is a powerhouse. She is a woman like no other. She is a 5-time author. She is driven by her purpose. And don't forget, she is Kadada. That's it.
Alrighty, Julia. So first I want to start out by saying I think you did an amazing job. I felt like you hit every point. I felt like you were very clear in what you wanted to say. And even describing her brand, her business, who she was, I did feel that there was an emotional connection. Even when it comes down to the business, the one thing that I felt like you lacked was confidence. You did extremely well. If you would have, did it with confidence and projected your voice, it would have made that presentation literally 10 times better. The only thing that you were literally lacking for me was confidence. Everything else, I feel like you hit it on the mark. I feel like you talked about her. You talked about her branding, who she is, what and who she represents. And you literally consolidated it to, just who she is. And so I feel like you did a really great job, but I would like to see a lot more confidence.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And I would say clarity was key for me. That was one of the things that that's important to me. So I understood fully of what she did, and so you did a great job with that. I disagree. I feel like it was very choppy, and you were just reading from a piece of paper, which really for me I didn't feel an emotional connection from you. It felt like you were just reading and kind of stumbling through. So my advice would say, and I think that does lean back to your confidence maybe. And maybe if you had more time to, just get your flow in. So I would just say, just practice your flow, because when you can flow through what you're saying and then you can also emphasize, and then with the clarity you did give, you would have been really, really spot on. So I would say my biggest thing was it was just a little choppy for me, but you gave great clarity and you look fabulous.
Thank you.
So I will say that I'm super proud of you. Thank you. Because I can tell this is not something that you like to do. And so it takes great courage to have to sit in front of anyone and talk and speak and deliver a message, right? So, and I get that and I understand. And just a tip, when you are, now that we live in the Zoom world and everything, when you have to read off of a script per se, what you want to do is actually use it as an outline and memorize your key points, because you did a better job without having to read off of a computer, right? And so you did a fantastic job in terms of the brand. I understood what you were saying. I thought it was really clear in terms of, oh, okay, I see now. I saw the vision. I saw how you put all the pieces of the puzzle together. And so far, that was outstanding. I think that a lot of things come with practice. A lot of things come with practice, and it takes a long time to master public speaking. It takes a lot of time to be comfortable, especially when you're questioning, am I right or am I wrong? And just know that you've been asked here, when you're in these spaces, if you're asked here, you're already present and you're already here. So you don't have to worry about, am I right or am I wrong? So thank you for that. And you do look real cute though, real cute.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so honestly for me, I'm gonna be honest, Julia was spot on. It just was her confidence. Being that, and like you said, even I feel like her words did come out choppy because she lacked that confidence in front of a camera. A lot of people just do not know how to, your body language, the way you enunciate, the things. What I did like about her is she slowed down. Yeah. She didn't jumble the words together. Like, she took time, she pronounced, she enunciated. But I think it was just her nervousness of being in front of that camera, not knowing like how it was going to turn out. For me, if she had more confidence, I really felt like, I felt like it was the only thing she was really missing, honestly.
Yeah, probably so. I just, I think when you've got this powerful person right here,
Absolutely.
and they've got a powerful brand story. You need to be able to articulate that in a powerful way. And I didn't feel that. Like I said to her, like, she was so focused on reading, which did, it made her trip over the words, and she was pronouncing words wrong. And I'm like, but nervousness does play into it, but it's just, make sure, even if you're going to read it, make sure that you are pronouncing. But I will say that she was crystal clear with your name, your brand, and exactly what you do.
I give her a lot of credit because she was so much stronger in her presentation at the end.
Yes,
and that's when I got it, and that's when I can always give a little grace between what we're seeing on the video as we're trying to pull it together, and then standing in front of people again going, okay, no, this is exactly what it was. It's so very different than the first one. And I think that a lot of it comes with practice. And I think that the moment that she felt comfortable, and I saw her click. I saw it click in her that she was just like, okay, I know exactly what I'm saying now. I believe it. This is what I see. This is what I know to be true. I think that's when she definitely, and I was impressed. I really was impressed. But if you put me in the likes of Prince, I'm gonna be happy too.
I like when she was presenting and not necessarily on the screen, because what she did do very, very well was she did not go back through and summarize again. So she kept it so short, concise, and just really to the point, and just put it out there.
To me, it was like she did everything in reverse. So she could have led with the end, right? And said, this is Kadada, this is who she, but I felt like she summarized and then gave us exactly, like, if you were unclear beforehand, let me just summarize this very crystal clear for you. And I will say, she actually took the time to put the puzzle pieces together. And I was impressed by that. I was like, okay, that sounds like me. Okay,
she definitely did. Like I said, when it came down to you as a serial entrepreneur, she literally hit it dead on the head. And she said, and we put all of this together, and this is, who she is and stuff. We'd like to see a little bit more eye contact. Like I said, it's just, I think it's just the cameras. You know what I'm saying? I think the nervous is from the camera, but other than that, for me, I think she really did a great job.
After trying to figure out which direction that I wanted to go, and doing all of the research on a Kadada, I think I did okay, but Kadada is a butterfly, so I gotta figure out which direction she wants, because she has 4 degrees, so she has a lot of things that she does. So once you figure out which direction she want to go, you'll pretty much know what she's really looking for and how she wants to tailor her branding. So I guess we won't know until we get into that judgment zone.
I'm the real, built from the fire, made for the field. No cap, no gimmicks, this is how it feels. Dreams get tested, but the vision stay real. Yeah, we the real. Work in the dark, let the results reveal. If you want the crown, better pay that bill. Welcome to the show where the winners get real. Clock on the wall, no time for excuses. Pitch under pressure, watch you really produce it. Brand on the line, gotta move like a boss. One wrong decision and they come with a cost. They talk big game, but they fall when it's real. We don't do almost, we do proof and we build. From the grind to the stage, from the plan to the